Hi besties and welcome back to my channel. So we're going to be doing this video a little bit different. So as you can see right now, it is currently 4:01 a.m. I can't sleep and there's just been a lot going on in the internet recently and with Jeffree Star, and it's been a little bit more than just, and by that I mean completely more than what I can just like write off as drama. And it's been a while since these stories have dropped, as in the newest one came out a few days ago and the first one that we need to talk about came out a month ago. And it's really hard to talk about, but on many different levels. Putting it on your YouTube channel, censoring yourself, having trigger warnings, just, and then stuff as well that I personally don't want to talk about. But there is a wider conversation happening right now with Jeffree Star, and however, I thought that this was something I needed to cover because people have been saying, like, Adam, you haven't talked about this yet. And I'm like, that's true, I haven't. So, you know what we're going to do? It's 4:02 a.m. now. We're going to sit through, and this is going to be a two-parter because there are two really explosive articles from Insider. We're going to go through them, but before, I'm just going to preface that I don't, and I'm not going to stand by saying that anything in this is true. I'm not confirming these claims. I am just reading off an online article. I am making that very clear that I am not putting this out to my platform saying this is factual, saying this is the truth, because what do I know? I know nothing. I am just going through an article that's online. And that's not meant to discredit Jeffree. That's not meant to discredit the author of this article. It's just that personally, I don't want to put any information out there as serious as this and put like a, this is true, I believe this, right beside it. But however, we are going to go through it and we are going to talk, but I just wanted to put that out first. So here we go. So we have this article that came out from Insider on October 1st by Kat Tambarge. And it says, Jeffree Star accusers say the makeup mogul has a history of assault, physical violence, and hush money offers. So, as you can see, just, by the way, going through this, there's just been many different eras of Jeffree Star, hasn't there? Like, you can look at each of these and just, it's a different moment in time for Jeffree, and it is really weird, like, looking at this, because there's just been so many scandals surrounding this man, and whenever I'm able to look at these pictures here, I'm like, oh, that was like the Manny MUA scandal, that was the Shane one, this was, the racism scandal, this was the MySpace, that was before MySpace, and each of these has a different scandal, and it's, for someone like Jeffree, that is so normalized, and that is, his brand, which is so fucking weird. But anyway, we go through this, and it says, before building his YouTube empire, Jeffree Star was a politically incorrect MySpace celebrity. In addition to his racist outbursts, several people, including some of Star's former friends, peers, and associates, told Insider that he physically and other ways abused others at the height of his MySpace fame. Now, again, I'm prefacing that I am censoring some things, but again, it's here, and you can go to the article, which will be linked below. So several people have came forward and say that, he kind of preyed on them around different kind of men and just was engaging in very inappropriate behavior, what he shouldn't have been doing. So people are coming forward and saying that they've experienced it or seen it, allegedly. Accusers also say that Star used weapons, and just different things that even, that one is like we've seen videos of on the MySpace days. He's like going around the street with a taser and stuff. So stuff like that we have seen on MySpace, or at least I have seen anyway. On to the people around him for fun and for revenge after facing rejection. Star's attorney declined the allegations of physical and other violence in this article, calling them false and defamatory. Messages obtained by insiders show two of the insiders on the record sources discussing a $10,000 payout offer from Star to recant their allegations. Now, I actually did a live stream on YouTube a couple days ago, and people were telling me that recant means take back, which I could have probably guessed, but I'm just very not good with my words. So recant their statements to like take them back, obviously. So we can go on. So makeup mogul Jeffree Star is one of YouTube's biggest celebrities. He is very over the top with cotton candy wigs. So very good, descriptions of here. That's what you would think of when you think of Jeffree Star. At least I do, anyway, over the top wigs, just over the top everything. He has a multi-million-dollar cosmetics brand and amassed 40 million social media followers, many of them teenagers and even younger, I would say. It doesn't say that on here, it says many teenagers. I get that's just like his average. But I would definitely say that I've seen parents on Twitter posting pictures to Jeffree of their very young kids being like, oh my god, they love your makeup and they're loving your videos. And I'm like, as a parent, is that the most responsible thing to do? There's this conversation of how much is the creator responsible as the guardians at home for young kids watching YouTubers, and I think it's an interesting conversation. But in the likes of Jeffree, I believe all the information is out there, and the parents, if they're deciding that's the route they want their children to follow, not great parenting. I don't give a shit saying that. I have no problem calling them out for that. Star, who's now 34 years old, which is so crazy because whenever I think of Jeffree Star as well, I don't put an age beside him. I just think he's like ageless, like a little alien or something. You know what I mean? I really don't put an age beside Jeffree Star. Built his beauty empire off of the success of his earlier career as an electropop musician, which is always very shocking, during the internet's MySpace era in the late 2000s. Now, I want to say something that isn't on this article, but I believe is why Jeffree Star was so successful. Jeffree Star fit the narrative of homophobic men. And what I mean by this is Jeffree Star played into every single stereotype of a gay man. And especially at that time of the internet, that was not what was accepted in terms of like homosexuality, and it was very frowned upon even back in the 2000s. Come on now. But Jeffree was able to feed into the most extreme stereotype, all of them, which made it okay to, you know, follow along and laugh at him from these. He has a very, at least at that stage, a very homophobic audience. We see this with Blair White, where Blair White has a huge transphobic audience, even though Blair White is transgender, sorry, because her content caters towards like belittling other transgender people. And Jeffree Star back then was, you know, doing these over the top stereotypes that people hated about homosexuality people or homosexual people. Sorry, let's keep in mind the time it is for me right now, 4 a.m. And so they felt okay following him because he was everything that they were, you know, so against. And it was interesting to follow along. That's always been my take on it anyway. You can have your own. He was known back then as the scene fixture whose merchandise appeared in Hot Topic stores. I've never been to a Hot Topic. I would love to see one. And who performed on the Warped Tour Series concert. The online persona that Star created during the phase of his career in his early 20s was shocking and violent at times, with public videos of different episodes and racist outbursts. Again, ones that we've all seen that have been resurfaced time and time again. And something that Jeffree likes to do is what a lot of these influencers kind of do. They're like, I've taken accountability. And you're like, okay, do it again. Like, they do this thing where content resurfaces of them and they're like, oh, I've taken accountability so much for this. And it's like, okay, do it more. Like, you can't be like, oh, I've apologized once. That writes off everything. James does that as well, James Charles, where it's like, I've taken accountability 100%. Like, that doesn't write off the shit, you know what I mean? So it says an insider investigation suggests that it wasn't all an act. Several former associates say Star engaged in violent and abusive behavior on multiple occasions during the late 2000s, including allegations of assault. 4 people who spoke with Insider said that Star did stuff to them without consent. 5 other people came forward to Insider saying that they personally saw Star using weapons to hurt or intimidate people around him. And 5 people told Insider that in 2009, Star used a on a homeless teen who had rejected his affections in a movie theater. And it says the teen later went on to stay in Star's apartment and told Insider that Star did stuff with him without his consent. In several letters to Insider, Star's attorney denied allegations of physical and other abuse or violence and questioned the reliability of Insider's sources. After Insider detailed the allegations to Star and his attorney, several people who had made on-the-record claims about Star's conduct contacted Insider to change their stories. So basically, if you don't know what they're saying there, is that, you know, I'm gonna read that one more time. After Insider detailed the allegations to Star and his attorney, so after they were aware of it, several people who had already came forward and made on-the-record claims about Star's conduct to Insider contacted to change their stories. So again, I'm not going to say anything, but they changed their stories after Jeffree and his attorney found out. Okay. Insider obtained text messages showing two of the on-the-record sources for this article discussing what they said was a $10,000 offer from Star to recant their allegations. Again, we now know what the word recant means. Take back. One accuser and two claimed witnesses, all of whom had provided on-the-record accounts to Insider in which they said they saw or experienced Star engaging in violence, ultimately did change their allegations and their stories. So, after Jeffree and his team were aware of it, seemingly the people who were on the record wanted to change what they said. Again, I'm not going to say anything, but quite shady. Right? Right. So the article then starts going on to what Jeffree built the foundation of his career off of. So, like, problematic stuff, like yelling the M-word at people, and just really aggressive content that was just overall disgusting. It goes into that this was literally what he built his career off of. And then it says, here is Star after his first UK show. And it's like really weird that it was like young kids that were going to see him. And that has followed through today, that like still these young people are going to his show and, you know, going to his meet and greet and wanting his makeup. And that's one thing that hasn't changed even with everything that has came out against Jeffree. And I think that's definitely a wider conversation that needs to be had, right? Other clips from his MySpace era show Star mocking black women during comedic skits and saying he would pour battery acid on a black woman to lighten her skin. Star would start public fights on camera confronting strangers with racist and sexist slurs. And in regards to a clip that was going around of Jeffree Star touching a man without his consent on camera, Star's attorney said the video was of Star and a friend jokingly touching one another, which was then uploaded onto Star's YouTube channel purely for entertainment. Now again, I'm not going to show that clip on here because I think it's not something I want to promote to my audience, and I didn't even do it. I don't even want to show it for context. You can go and look. That pretty much, what I said at the start, describes what it was, and again, disgusting. But basically, in the clip, Jeffree reached down and said, I knew it was big, so... Okay. So then the article goes on to talk about someone called Gage Arthur, and so basically in 2008 he was 17 years old in Austin, Texas, with dreams of becoming famous on the internet like most of us do. He began building a fan base on MySpace and Stick'em, and so that year Arthur's roommate, also an entertainer, invited a friend from LA to visit their apartment in Austin, Jeffree Star. It says over the course of 4 interviews with Insider that took place over this summer, Arthur said that Star did stuff to him soon after meeting him, starting at Austin's apartment even though Austin is straight. And then it goes on to say that in 2009, Arthur moved to Los Angeles to try, you know, become more famous, and he struggled with homelessness, and actually Jeffree Star invited him to stay at his apartment and shared a bed with him. And it says that on November 11th, 2009, the first night that Arthur was supposed to stay with Jeffree Star, according to social media posts, Arthur and Star went to see a movie together. And during the movie, Arthur said that Star tried to hold his hand, but Arthur resisted. And according to Arthur, Star attacked him with a theater parking lot after the movie. That night, Arthur told Insider that Star gave him Ambien pills until he was intoxicated and then did stuff to him, allegedly. And then it goes on to say that Arthur made similar claims when speaking to Christopher Stone, who operates the online gossip blog Sticky Drama. Star's attorney have came forward and described the Sticky Drama post to Insider as false and defamatory, although Stone told Insider that neither Star nor his attorney responded to his own request for a comment. But they did to Insider, which is extremely shady, in my opinion. More than a month after that post went up and Insider was asking Star for a comment under it, Star's attorney sent Stone a cease and desist letter asking him to take the post down completely. And Star's attorney continued to deny Arthur's claims, saying that Jeffree had done neither of the things that were said. 3 weeks after Insider first asked Star for a comment on Arthur's claims, Arthur sent a text message to Insider saying, hey, his lawyers have called me, about Jeffree's, I think. 5 hours later, he followed up with an email saying, I'm not sure I'm remembering things correctly and I may have misinterpreted things, adding, I'm retracting our communication. The next day, however, Star's attorney sent a letter to Insider making clear that he was aware of Arthur's effort to retract his statements. So, again, all of this happened after Star found out that Arthur had came forward. Do you understand why I'm taking the approach of this video in less of a how I normally do and a more calm and collected and trying to just like relay this information, because I think this is beyond serious and isn't necessarily a drama video. You know what I mean? Since then, Insider has obtained text messages written by Arthur in which he told another person contacted by Insider for his story that had changed his account, and Jeffree has agreed to pay you $10,000 if you choose to do the same. So, again, kind of speaks for itself. I'm not going to say it's true or not, though. I'm just saying it speaks for itself from this online publication. Insider have actually put screenshots of a video of Jeffree and Arthur together, and it says that Arthur's former roommate in Austin confirmed to Insider that Arthur was 17 when Star first visited the apartment they shared. And he verified that this was them two in this picture. You can't really see, it's really dark, but you can see two of them there. The footage shows Star kissing Arthur for about 25 seconds, and Star was 22 at this time. And Arthur was allegedly 17. And it basically goes on to say that the timeline of events was actually documented by Jeffree on his Twitter, and it says that that night, early in the morning of November 11th, Star posted on Twitter that he was going to the movies with Arthur and two other friends. In the morning, he posted a selfie with Arthur, captioning it, "Just waking up." So here's the tweet, going to the movies with, and then adding them. Star deleted the first of the two tweets in September 2020 after Insider requested comment on them. So he deleted the tweets right after they did that. You know what I mean? So in the conversation of Jeffree using weapons, it goes on to say that Star's attorney again denied that Jeffree was doing any of that, but then goes on to say that they have so many people who have came forward to Insider saying the opposite. So again, it's like back and forth here. Star tweeted a photo of himself with Gage Arthur on November 11th, 2009. So here we go, and this is the just waking up selfie. So there's that. It says two people contacted by Insider said that Arthur told them that things had happened to him by Star. Chris Wallen, who was one of Arthur's roommates, and another friend of his who was named Eden Shizzle. In an effort to cast doubt on Arthur's credibility, Star's attorneys provided Insider with a statement from Amber Hilton, a former MySpace celebrity who described herself as Arthur's best friend. In the statement, Hilton says Arthur's allegations about Star are false and that Arthur previously told her that if she talked to Insider and supported him, he would take care of me later if he received a money settlement from Mr. Star. In an interview with Insider, Hilton said that Arthur and Star definitely had hooked up a couple times, quite a few times, and that she had dropped off and picked up Arthur from Star's apartment on multiple occasions. But she ridiculed the idea that Star could have assaulted another man. The article goes on to say that Jeffree's behavior around this time with his career was very much so aligned to what was being accused of him, that it was very touchy-feely, you know, aggressive, violent, and they were saying that that is something to note as well. And then here's a picture of Jeffree in Manchester in 2007. It goes on as well to say that on May 19th, 2007, so just so much on here, it says that Star performed at a venue in Alaska, and it says that there, Britton Stra, who had just turned 18, said that Star had actually done something to him before the performance began. It says that this person worked sound and other production for this, you know, venue, and it says that Star was introduced to him, and Star made a comment about the shorts that he was wearing, and that Star reached down and did something. And this person this allegedly happened to says that they were kind of shocked, they told Insider. After a while, it dawned on me that it was pretty effed up. When the Me Too stuff started happening, all these things started being very similar to me. Star's attorney denied that Star had done anything to this person, writing to Insider that Mr. Straw used this same fabricated story 6 years ago to try and extort money from Mr. Star. Star's legal team did not provide evidence of this person attempting to extort money from Mr. Star, and Stra denied that he ever contacted Star in the pursuit of money. Sorry, I'm gonna be honest, I had to take a moment there because there is just so much in this article. Like, this article goes on for a long time, and there's just like information, and I am someone who doesn't read a lot, and I am someone who it takes me a while to process information. So going through this in real time and considering that it's 4:30, this is a lot, and it can be quite hard to understand just because nothing about the way this is written or nothing, you know, the way this is presented, just because it's a lot of information. But I'm just going to go to, it says, Gage Arthur sent this message to Chris Avery Bennett days before Insider's article was published after communicating with Star's lawyers, and this is obviously a DM. The events I discussed with Business Insider were from many years ago. I am not sure I'm remembering things correctly, and I may have misinterpreted things. I've decided to retract my communications to Business Insider and told them they don't have authority to publish anything I discussed with them. To resolve all of this, Jeffree Star has agreed to pay you $10,000 if you choose to do the same. Send a number and I'll send it over to you if you want. So obviously that was the communications. So Arthur's message to Bennett came just hours after he sent an email to Insider attempting to recant his previous statements. Bennett told Insider she refused the attempt to pay 10 grand for my silence. Two other sources who had previously told Insider on the record that they had witnessed physical violence by Starr also changed their stories right after Arthur changed his. 4 hours before sending an email attempting to retract his allegations, one of those people sent text messages to an Inside reporter that said, Gage approached me at midnight with some sort of explanation and deal that I didn't see until this morning. The person then wrote, I'm sure you won't hear from him again, and then added the money emoji, you know, the little dollar emoji. Starr's attorney declined to answer questions about whether Starr had offered payment to anyone who spoke to Insider. And so, yeah, that has been me going through this first article that came out back in October 1st. Now, the reason I had to do this is because there is now a huge story that has just dropped, and it felt not right and wouldn't make any sense if I had done a video on that if I hadn't done this, because this is like the base knowledge for the other one. And so Kat Tambarge, great article, just like, and because the topic at hand is so, you know what I mean, it's hard to read and it's hard to go through, and you know what I mean. So guys, that was part 1. Part 2 is going to be the update and this story that is going fucking mega on Twitter and social media right now. Again, I am not saying that anything I read out is true. I'm just reading Business Insider's article. I am not going to put anything out there as saying that it's truthful or that I believe it, or you know what I mean. This is just me updating you on what, you know, is out there. So again, first of all, tell me what you thought about me just like sitting down and being way more calm, and like, because I really did have to take this really seriously. So obviously it's not my normal bouncy video. So let me know. I will see you in my next one, and stay safe, stay well, and again, this video was a lot, so I hope you're okay. So I'll see you in my next one. Bye.